Solar anywhere industrial production where physical silver is needed. You need to change needed to required because it isn't just needed. The alternatives for silver, as far as conductivity, in many cases, there is no alternative. And this is something I've been saying for 20 years now. Do not expose yourself to the failure of paper. Paper is a promise, and a promise can be broken. And there's one thing that I would like to say is that that line, price will solve almost everything. He needs to delete the word almost. Price will solve everything.
Global silver shortage hits critical at $62.46 per ounce spot. Australia, Canada, UK, Vietnam, South Africa, Costco sold out. Poland dealers paying $58 to $60 per ounce for scrap, near spot. Royal Canadian Mint, Perth Mint out. Bullion Star, 4 buyers per seller at new highs. SLV ETF, under 5,000 shares to short, 12% borrowing fees. Manufacturers can't use cash settlements. Need physical for solar panels, charge your EVs. 2024 precedent forming. Premiums hitting 40 to 50% over spot on remaining stock. Unobtanium phase accelerating. Paper silver risks immediate failure. Physical holders protected. Paper holders face total loss. Time to secure physical before $70. Subscribe to Fine Metals for future updates.
But in most cases, there are. It's gold, platinum, and palladium. So silver would have to reach those prices, 1-to-1 ratio and the gold-silver ratio, before other alternatives become available. Silver is absolutely required for these things, and the only thing that can fix this is price. And if they try to suppress the price, and this the COMEX, if they can't deliver, and a lot of the buyers are industry, then this exact thing, Just Dario pointed out something great here. This is brilliant.
The market can break loose from the futures market. That will lose its whole purpose, and that, trust me, will be catastrophic for many financial institutions, even more than a silver squeeze. So agree or disagree, Mike?
Absolutely agree. I've also accumulated since then, and I have only sold items where I had little items that I was paying excessive storage fees on, but I converted those ounces to other ounces so I only hold a few different products, and I have accumulated the whole time, and I do not sell. You can print dollars, you can't print silver. Thank you, Wall Street Gold, and keep calm. But all the silver is gone. The next week, only 100-ounce bars. That was my only silver product. Gold, the variety lasted a little bit longer. But then when the silver products ran out completely and I had no silver for 3 weeks, no silver, only gold, the gold products started running out. But what happens is you start off with the silver price and it's following silver spot. It's above, any physical product costs more than spot. So spot is what refiners and the bullion banks trade at, but it's determined by futures contracts. But then there comes a time when there's so much demand that the price of silver and gold they diverge from the spot price, and that is the point at which they become unobtanium. And then what happens is something similar to what happened to me in 2008. I opened GoldSilver.com in 2005. My book came out in July and August of 2008. The markets crashed in October and the global financial crisis began. There was a rush toward gold and silver. And what would happen is, like the U.S. Mint can only mint a certain amount of coins. Once their inventory is gone and all of the dealers have gobbled it up, they put everybody on allocation. No silver or gold at any Costco locations in Ontario, and also the Royal Canadian Mint is also sold out of almost everything. Silver Baron, everything, everywhere, all at once. The silver squeeze is real and unlike anything we have ever seen before. Well, actually, we did see something. I've seen something like this. It was actually worse than this. I'll tell you about it in a minute. Perth Mint is out of kilo bars. This is crazy. I read online that silver supply in many countries is insufficient. So how's the situation in Vietnam? Vietnam replies, there's no more stock for sale. But I see lots of coins in your shop. Are those the last ones? Yes. Not sure if we can still buy raw materials to continue making more. So the raw materials are running out. Raw materials, that's like the 1,000-ounce bars and stuff. So for Make Gold Great, silver out of stock in the UK now. Millions of Brits just spat out their tea. And he's retweeting Hansa Czerny's. Unfortunately, we currently only have 2,277 units available for purchase. Moving on. Idaho Outlaw says silver monster boxes are all sold out at Monument Metals here in the United States. This is not a drill. Silver is on its way to unobtanium this month. Now, I'm the guy that coined the terms unaffordium and unobtanium. So thank you very much for quoting me out of Idaho Outlaw. In Vietnam, they have streets lined with gold and silver shops. Vietnamese have always been strong buyers of the metals to bury in the garden. Anyway, there's a supply shock of silver, aka there is none for sale. Expect it to be reflected in the price action this week. Bob Coleman, silver ETF alert. If dealers and authorized participants want to draw down shares of SLVs and redeem silver in a rising market, there's a hidden price to pay. The borrowing fee to short SLV shares just exploded higher, almost tripling from last week. Get this, less than 10,000 shares available to short, expecting volatility to rise in the options market. And if you scroll down, you'll see that this was 9:23 a.m. on October 6th. Eric Jung, they're being squeezed from all sides, and he reposts this PM bug tweet, 0 shares available. That's at 10:28. The other one was at 9:23. This is at 10:28. All the shares to short SLV are gone. It just wasn't available. Somebody somewhere might have it. But what happened is, I have a friend in Chicago. I called him and he goes, oh my God, I went to my local dealer and he's selling silver bars. It's 100-ounce silver bars at $18 an ounce. The spot price of silver was below $9 when that dealer was selling at a greater than a 100% premium. Silver Eagles during that period of time on eBay were selling for up to $36 when the spot price was below $9, a 300% premium over spot. So this can happen. It has happened before, and that's where silver becomes unobtanium. But those days when I was out for 3 days, for a week, I had only kilobars of gold. For 3 days, we had no products whatsoever. I was basically out of business, and that is when gold and silver were unobtanium. Dealer is paying customers to sell back sovereign coins to him so that he can then resell them because he can't find them anywhere else. This is what goes on in a crisis. And so the price, what he does is he finds the price that they're offering to buy Australian kangaroos, and then takes that price and converts it, the currency conversions. Normally, when you go back and try and sell your product, you're going to be selling it to the dealer at spot, possibly just below. It depends on the market. Sometimes over spot, if it's a sovereign coin like a silver eagle, it goes for a little bit over spot. If they sell it today, they're going to be out, and they've got to pay even more. So their spreads have to go up because there's more buyers than there are sellers. And those sellers have to basically supply the buyers. And so the price spread has to increase because the dealer is going to be out with nothing to sell the moment he sells that product. Cost to borrow SLV shares skyrocketing with 0 shares available to short. This is at 140, and you can see that bar has exploded. Bob Coleman again, SLV ETF alert. SLV created 5 million shares yesterday. The borrowing fee pulled back this morning to 6.3. However, literally no shares were available to borrow. Now borrowing is at 9.82%, almost 10%, with 0 shares available to borrow. And that was, the other two were on October 6th. This is 2 p.m. October 7th. So 1 day later, and you can see the bar from the previous day and then this bar surpassing it. And so the image, I think that whoever did this probably read my book. But this was the surplus, and now the deficit since after 2020. We've had this enormous deficit, and it's while everybody's buying, the stockpiles have been shrinking. And charted silver market balance. Silver market has undergone a fundamental shift, moving from years of surplus to a period of large, persistent structural deficits. And this is what is causing all of the supplies to be drying up. It's weak. So there's 3 or 4 central banks that have started buying silver. So there's going to be more trying to buy over the next few months, but there is a pit there. There's nothing left. Bullion Star, record buying in September, 3 buyers for every seller. Bullion Star recorded 3-to-1 buy-sell ratio in September. Customers purchased metals at 3 times the rate they sold, even with gold and silver at all-time highs. September also marked our strongest month for precious metals sales this year, with relentless demand across both online and in-store channels. The pattern is clear. Customers are accumulating rather than taking profits at peak prices. All-time highs aren't slowing demand. They're buying aggressively to secure tangible assets outside the banking system. Physical ownership has become the priority, with buyers responding to compound risks, currency debasement, global uncertainty, and institutional instability. They're awaiting stock, and you give them your email address, and they'll tell you when they're back in stock. But right now, they are dry. Again, more products. Then, moving on. Silver is about to get wiped out. First reported shortages in Japan and China. Now the cracks are spreading to Canada, Australia, and the UK. Canada, Vietnam, Costco, everything is gone. The impacts are increasing every day worldwide. I give the silver market maybe a week before it fully starts to melt down. And that's Tim Hack. And Trump Clock responds, "You mean melt up?" And he does. And if you click through this here, the individual photos, the market sniper says no silver Krugerrands are available in South Africa. Rand Refinery's statement below. And so this is their statement. And for a week, the only thing that you could buy from GoldSilver.com, the only thing that I could find for you in searching around everywhere was kilo bars. And at that point in time, gold was trading between $800 and $1,000. So if you didn't have roughly $30,000 to invest, you were out of luck. And the suppliers, if they were taking 25% or 10% or 1% or 3% of the mint's products the month before the mint ran out, that's the percentage of the production they get and no more. And so what would happen is for me as a little dealer just starting out, for a week, I would have like silver rounds and silver eagles. Then the next week, no more silver rounds, just silver eagles. Silver at my precious metals dealer is either pre-order or out of stock. This is the same dealer again. Due to stock availability, you are unable to purchase 10 of the 250-gram silver bars. Maximum is 3. That's because they've only got 3 left, and there they go. They're gone.